Hey everyone, my name is Taryn and you are watching my channel Birdhouse Blooms. I know it has been forever since I have put out a video, but here I am again. This seems to happen to me every year where I take a little break over the winter and then the absolute craziness of tulips and Mother's Day just gets ahead of me and I don't have time to do videos. I promise that an update video is in the works. So much has changed since last year. If you've been watching my channel, you will know that I recently moved with my husband and my dog to a new house and had to start the garden all over again. And I've put in so much work over the off season, over the winter time and spring, and I want to share all of that with you. But I have a little bit of a media storage problem right now, so I need to get some videos uploaded so that I'm able to record more videos. And so this video you're about to see is just some footage from tulip season. It's a few months old. I'll try to get the date up on the screen. I can't really remember. But it was a big experiment I did with trying to film a video using a drone. And I do talk about it during the video, but that's why the camera footage is a little bit weird. And I want to share the video with you anyway. I have rehomed the drone. My husband adopted it and he's going to be using it. And if I need drone footage of something in particular, we'll still do that. But it didn't really work how I wanted it. Filming yourself is just hard. And I just wanted something to follow me around and film me as if I had a camera person. But a drone really works better in a big open space. The one I have doesn't detect obstacles, and so you kind of have to pay attention to what you're doing. It's also kind of loud, so it ruins the ambiance for me of like listening to my birds singing while I'm out in the garden and the peace and quiet and all of that kind of stuff. So that wasn't really working for me. So that being said, I still want to share the video with you. It's kind of funny, it's kind of entertaining, and I do hope you enjoy it. And believe me, I will be doing update videos and posting some stuff more frequently here on out. So without further ado, here is a tulip arranging video for you. Today, I am making bouquets out of tulips. Here are some of the tulips I'll be working with today. Here's another bucket. I also have some daffodils here to work with. And I have just a few hellebores. The first thing I'm going to do is get just one of my bouquet wraps done. And I just have my paper here folded in half. Now, this variety right here, this one is called Queensland. I'm picking my tallest stems for this wrap bouquet. These tulips right here are called Sunrise Dynasty. They're a single. I don't use a lot of singles, but in this case, I really like the color, so I'm adding these. Use this one. And daffodils. I'm just going to spiral these around. Use this so you can see. Lining up my daffodils where I want to cut so that I don't have to recut these stems. They do leave a little bit of fat that can affect the base life of your other flowers. Okay, so there they are, all tucked in. Oops, these dots ended up next to each other, so I'm just going to move this one. There she is. Okay, so I got a new drone to help me film content, which hopefully it works out, but it is so loud. It's very loud, and hopefully the film editing software takes the sound of that drone out, so you won't even be able to hear it. Oh, I forgot to stamp this. But anyway, it's very like I feel like I need to wear earbuds for myself or something, so I don't have to listen to the drone. So the drone just ran out of battery. I fixed it. I have another one. That's saying I forgot to stamp my paper, so I'm going to do that real quick. Okay. Okay, this in here. And here's my stapler. I'm going to fold it. I don't always fold this over, but if it makes sense for the size of the bouquet, I will. Okay, so here is what that looks like. Very pretty. Okay. I'll also, real quick, just put my branding tag on here. I always feel so disorganized, like my stuff is everywhere. I just take this. It has my business name and my website on it. And I just print these off on regular paper. And then this is a pasta sauce jar. I like that it holds a lot of water, but it has a narrow neck so that these fit in here very nicely. It's very stable. The next one I'm going to do is very similar, but I'm not going to wrap it in paper. This is for a friend. She ordered it, but it's also her birthday, so I like to give her extra, so I'm just going to pull a few. And since I'm not doing the wrap, I can do some shorter tulips. It's also her birthday. I can't remember if I said that or not. No. Whoops, these two purple ones are right next to each other, so I'll move it. Okay, this is where I would normally stop if I wasn't making an extra stuffle bouquet for my friend. This is 12 stems. Wow, this is pretty one. 15. I think it needs one more purple. And then I'm going to do the same thing with my daffodils. I'm going to look for some that are on the shorter side and just make sure they kind of pop out the top. And I'm lining the stem of the daffodil up with about where I'm going to cut the tulip stems. So again, and this one's going to stick out and dance, which I like, but I don't like when it's on its own. So I like to group a second one nearby. And I also kind of want to make it a little asymmetrical, so they're on this side. So it doesn't look like they have antlers or eyeballs. Kind of pretty. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut this. Again, I'm cutting it to about where those daffodils ended up. This one's a real short, so I'm going to pull it, see if I can pull it a little bit. Yeah, it let me. Okay. I like to hand spiral the stems and then put the bouquet in here, and I think I snapped a stem doing that. Let me find it. Yeah, I did. And then after I've done that, I kind of fluff it up a little bit. It makes the stems look really pretty. And I just kind of adjust it. I decide what I want the front to be, and then I fluff it based on that. And now I'm going to put in my hellebore stems. And I feel like the foliage, if it's in the way, I'll just like trim it down. I think that looks really good. All right, there it is from the front. Ooh, but I really like this one. I don't want her to be in the back. I find it helpful to take off a lot of foliage when you're just kind of at the end and trying to adjust things. I'm going to put it right here. Front and center. Okay. That is what that looks like. Okay. Let's give her a bow. This is a nice earthy color, and this is self-ribbon, so it's biodegradable. That's something I really like. I use my arm to measure this. It's about a yard. My fabric scissors to cut this. And I messed up. I really want a longer pair so I can do this in one snip. There it is. On this one, I am going to use my business card for the branding tag. We ran out of battery again, but we're back. I don't like the way this looks because normally I do this part first, so go ahead and do that. All right, now I'm going to retie this. All right, there she is. All ready to go. Okay, real quick, while I was editing this video, it reminded me of something I said on an earlier video a really long time ago last fall when I was planting the tulips. And that is that I was doing an experiment where instead of placing the bulbs in the soil, I was just spreading them out because I've heard of other flower farmers doing the same thing. And while it was way easier to plant them and they did grow up just fine, I found that when harvesting, the bulbs snapped off nearly every time because when the bulb was crooked in the ground, the stem grew out of it curved like this. And so when I was pulling the bulbs or the stems out, they were just snapping off, which is not a huge deal for me for storage because I do not dry store my tulips, and I store my tulips with the bulbs off simply because I don't have a walk-in cooler. I only have refrigerators. So it wasn't a huge deal, but it left the bulbs in the soil, which you don't want. I kind of wanted to get all of those out of there. Now they're stuck in there, or I could go in and dig them out, but I didn't take the time to do that. So I'm hoping those bulbs will just rot over time, and maybe I can get some composting worms in there to help me out with that. But I do think that it was easier to harvest with the bulb on with the tulips that I took the time to place upright in the proper direction during planting. I am totally scaling back the number of tulips. I say this every year, but I'm going to say it again. I am scaling back the number of tulips I'm planting next year. This year I had close to 6,000, and next year I'm having closer to 2,000, which after further research this year, I need to cut that in half again, and next season only do around 1,000 because that's what fits in my refrigerators. Also, the refrigerators do not hold tulips as well as a walk-in cooler, so I have to do a quicker turn of selling my tulips. They come in, I need them out. So that's the method I'm working towards, getting a subscription built up so that that is possible for me. Otherwise, tulips are on the chopping block. I'm going to give them a couple more years, but it's not looking good for tulips for me. Hydroponic didn't work out well for me. I had a lot of trouble with disease. I would be able to get 1 or 2 rounds okay, and that was about it before disease started settling in. I just don't have a growing space that is cool enough during the blooming phase of the hydroponic growing. So I'm just going to table that for now. I'm going back to field planting. I might try some shade cloth or some crate planting or some other things, but tulips are definitely being downsized and maybe eliminated for cut flower production. I may keep some for myself. I'll probably always have tulips for myself, but as far as a crop to harvest and sell, they're very challenging. And at this point, I'm not making money on them, so I don't know if I'll continue. I do have a lot to learn still with them. I'm still refining my process, but their time is limited. If they don't start turning profits soon, I'm just going to grow them for personal use and no longer sell them. All right, Skelly also misses being on the YouTube channel. She wanted to say hello. So here she is. That is all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye. Hi, Scully. What are you doing? Are you a pretty dog? Are you a pretty dog?